It's a proportional difference, really. It's probably the same, but on a different scale here.
What Led Zeppelin were all about.
Has said that he was in love. It seduced young English.
The hippie West Coast.
How they built this relationship.
By critics and the public, and accepted by the public.
Whatever, there was nothing big.
The lady they seek.
In a very nice dinner afterwards.
There's two tracks with acoustic.
Yeah.
Going to California, that's mandolin again, and acoustic guitar.
Led Zeppelin's Going to California was a passion project for Jimmy Page.
That lovely droning D sound.
And Robert Plant.
In the days with a woman and kind.
Going to California was actually recorded outside, sitting on the lawn.
Smoked my stuff and drank all my wine.
You know, the mandolin there, it's a great vibe. Yeah, I think you can actually hear a plane going over at one particular point.
Made up my mind, making you start. Going to California with an aching in my heart.
It's a beautiful song. It's the melody is absolutely lovely.
When you're in love with Joni Mitchell, Plant memorably quipped, "You've really got to write about it now and again."
My chances on a big jet plane. Never let them tell you that we're all the same.
And by their admission, it was written as an homage to Joni Mitchell, the Lady of the Canyon, the lady they seek.
Sea was red and the sky was grey. I wondered how tomorrow could ever follow today.
Joni Mitchell vibe, relaxed, laid-back, romantic music, which was yet another facet of what Led Zeppelin were all about.
Seemed that the wrong of the god's got a punch on the nose and it's starting to flow. I think I might be sinking.
It's all about, Robert Plant has said that he was in love with Joni Mitchell. Well, obviously he means in the artistic sense, but she captivated people like that.
Throw me a line if I reach it in time. I see you up there with the passman straight.
Their music was, of course, very different, as were their backgrounds. But both acts ultimately journeyed to the West Coast, from Canada and England, respectively, while forging those wildly divergent paths.
Going to California was something that all bands did anyway in the 70s and still do. You know, it's great when you are a new young band, you want to get away from all the dark cold of Europe, the wet weather and the climate.
The sunshine, the women, the whole culture, the laid-back attitude, it seduced young English rock musicians. And let's be honest, they really do owe it to their success in America. They were gods in America long before they became gods over here.
So Going to California sort of represents Nirvana, or the, sort of paradise in a way. Going to California, but it kind of transpired or transmogrified into a piece more in tune with the hippie West Coast.
Plant recognized the complications right away. Mitchell fell in immediately with the Laurel Canyon crowd, putting her inside the scary fault line that threatens to send a good portion of the state falling into the sea. Also, the Laurel Canyon folks hated Led Zeppelin.
Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes, flowers in her hair.
So the band's admiration for Mitchell remained largely long distance. They spoke of her admiringly in the press, while creating a moment of touching pastoral beauty on Led Zeppelin IV in Mitchell's honor.
Mountains in the canyon start to tremble and shake. The children of the sun begin to awake.
That's the music that I play at home all the time. Joni Mitchell, Page told me in 1975. The main thing with Joni is that she's able to look at something that's happened to her, draw back and crystallize the whole situation, then write about it. She brings tears to my eyes. What more can I say? It's bloody eerie. Mitchell admitted that she wasn't used to these public displays of affection. Other artists would cross the street when I walked by, Mitchell told Interview in 2005.
Ride a white mare in the footsteps of dawn, trying to find a woman who's never been born.
Initially, I thought that was due to elitism, but I later found out they were intimidated by me. That was particularly true, she added, when it came to straight white men. They would come up to me and say, "My girlfriend really likes your music," as if they were the wrong demographic. Led Zeppelin was very courageous and outspoken about liking my music, but others wouldn't admit it.
Standing on a hill in the mountain of dreams, telling myself it's not as hard as it seems.
Led Zeppelin's westward adventures already included all manner of huge shows and after-concert debauchery, so they well understood its allures and its dangers.
Are you a smash over here as well as over there? As much of?
Well, there's more people here. That's so. Therefore, it's it's a proportional difference, really. It's probably the same, but on a different scale here.
Led Zeppelin were an English band who America took to their heart. And what are you going to do? 2-month tour in America or a 15-day in England, like Sheffield City Hall? Or
did you expect this kind of appreciation of what you do?
And not to begin with, because
Not to this extent.
No.
We knew we were appreciated by the fact that people were coming along to see us in such great, vast numbers. All over the place, England and the continent and wherever. But no one expected this.
They owe pretty much all of their success to how they built this relationship with the American audiences from the constant touring. And the epicenter of their love of America was California.
Plant said the song was also an opportunity to reflect on the first years of the group, when I was only about 20 and was struggling to find myself in the midst of all the craziness of California and the band and the groupies.
Oh, she sings, ride a white mare in the footsteps of dawn, trying to find a woman who's never.
But oddly enough, I believe the lyrics were actually inspired by slightly more doomy thoughts about the possibilities of earthquake.
Meanwhile, a loose-knit group of emerging singer-songwriting talents had been drawn to Laurel Canyon, including Mitchell, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Jackson Browne, and Linda Ronstadt, among others. The Canyon scene was a continuation of the artistic will to create some sort of aesthetic and respectable role for pop music, an impressed Plant said in Barney Hoskins' Led Zeppelin IV, so that there was an intention beyond rock-a-hula baby. Unfortunately, Led Zeppelin weren't exactly welcomed into this ever-earnest denim-clad circle. The people who lived in Laurel Canyon avoided us, Plant added. They kept clear because we were in the tackiest part of the Sunset Strip, with tacky people like Kim Fowley and the GTOs.
Whatever. There was nothing big that a band could go on to, whereas you go to America and you're talking about 20,000, 12,000. They beat the Beatles record at Shea Stadium, which I think was about 58,000. These are numbers of people that paying cash on the night is going to result in a very nice dinner afterward.
Going to California ties all of these seemingly disparate strands together, paying tribute from afar to Mitchell's flaxen looks and sharp intellect, while still retaining dark worries about the risks of manifest destiny. In fact, the song's protagonist has to navigate through a mountain-shaking earthquake while chasing down the object of his affection.
I think they were thinking originally about the possibility of an earthquake in California.
If there was any wonder about just who that is, Plant makes a clear reference to I Had a King, the opening song from Mitchell's debut album, 1968 song To a Seagull. To find a queen without a king, he quietly offers in the final verse. They say she plays guitar, cries, and sings.
Find a queen without a king. They say she plays guitar and cries and sings.
Plant would ultimately downplay ardent lyrical moments like that one. Might be a bit embarrassing at times lyrically, but it did sum up a period of my life when I was 22.
Standing on a hill in the mountain of dreams, telling myself it's not as hard as it seems.
Still, there's no denying its gentle allure, as Page and John Paul Jones complete things with an utterly idyllic string accompaniment. Led Zeppelin IV went on to hurdle Led Zeppelin to another level, both creatively and commercially. Their dreams of achieving consistent brilliance had finally been realized. I don't think there are too many people who are capable of it, Page ruminated in the talk with Rolling Stone, before quickly adding, maybe one, Joni Mitchell.
She sings, ride a white mare in the footsteps of dawn, trying to find a woman who's never.
I think when Led Zeppelin IV burst on the scene, and it was reviewed by critics and the public and accepted by the public, I don't think they or the band thought of this as kind of a pointer necessarily to some new future. This was representing all the best they could do at that point in time.
Ironically, a minor trembler rattled the studio while he was attempting to get a final album mix at Los Angeles Sunset Sound.